game. I think it's 13-10 this game.
Another fascinating game.
Well, it should be a thriller. I mean, when I wake up in the fourth quarter, hopefully it's still close.
There you go. Philadelphia against the Jets. Philadelphia coming back to the ugliest, most disgusting stadium, disgusting new stadium in football, back at MetLife.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the Jets looked okay last week. Not great, but okay. The Eagles, listen, Hurts is not a great quarterback.
Jalen really hurts. Jalen really hurts.
Yeah, if you can contain him, you could be in the game. I think the Jets will be in the game. I don't think they'll win, but I think they'll be in the game.
Do you think the Jets cover at 6.5?
I do.
Yeah, I think I agree with that one. I
can see this game being 24-20, 24-21, something like that. I think that Hurts will turn the ball over a couple of times. I think Wilson will turn the ball over a couple of times. I think you know who the guy is on that team that's so infuriating against the Giants is Boston Scott.
Yeah.
He always plays well against the Giants. You figure he just likes the stadium, right? So he'll probably play well against the Jets.
Oh, maybe I'll play him. Colts going up against Planet Houston.
There's another one, right? I mean, so you look at Houston, and with Tyrod, they look a little bit more competitive, but the Jets kind of controlled that game.
Yeah.
Especially the whole second half, the Jets controlled it anyway. First half, it was 14-3, but a little of that was Jet mistakes, and, they had a couple of nice plays. Hard to imagine the Colts not coming down here and beating the crap out of Houston, being angry after because they gave Tampa all they could, and they just came up short.
Right. And so you think they cover the 9-point spread?
I actually do. I think they're going to cover that on the road, and I think that, you might even see T.Y. Hilton have a decent day. I think Pittman has a better day. Right. I think that Taylor's a stud, I mean, and he's the guy that's going to make it all happen because the Jets were able to move the ball a little bit against it. Not a lot, a little bit. So you figure the Colts are moving a lot.
Right.
For Houston, you still play Brandon Cooks in this game. You still have to play him.
Yeah, I think it's more for next year. I think I've got Rex Burkhardt ready to go.
Well, yeah. Well, Burkhead has been, good. I mean, he's their number one guy now. He's taking over.
And hurt. Who gives a crap? I'm dead if I don't win this week. So you got the Washington football team heading out to Vegas, and both teams need it.
It's funny. I mean, the AFC West, the Chiefs, who looked like they were awful, are in first place by themselves by one game over the other three teams. So the 4 teams separated by one game. The Raiders look like world beaters, but then you draft unsavory guys. You have to get rid of your coach because of emails from 10 years ago because he's a racist.
Right.
And, and all the other, and sexist and everything else, homophobe, whatever he was. I didn't
read
all.
And one of your top picks kills people.
You draft skill guys that you have to release because they're bad guys. Right. And all of a sudden you look mediocre. Then you go into Dallas on Thanksgiving and you put up 36. I mean, Carr isn't bad.
Right.
It's just that does he have the guys to throw to? What it's going to come down to is if Washington can stop Jacobs, Washington will win that game. If Jacobs plays well, I think Vegas will win that game. I think Washington will stop Vegas. I think Washington will stop Jacobs. I think Washington will win that game.
Jacksonville against the Rams.
Rams have looked awful the last couple of weeks.
But it appears that this might be just just what they need.
Well, Stafford also has been a little bit banged up, they say.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? You would think that they would run amok at home against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Odell actually looked pretty good last week. Henderson is banged up. Don't know if he's going to play, if it's going to be Sony Michel at the running back position for the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
It's early in the week still. So, pay attention to Friday, who's practicing on Friday.
Yeah, I think
but you're playing all your skill guys on the Rams. On Jacksonville, I don't know if you trust anybody offensively.
No.
Maybe Robinson if you need to. That's about it.
By the way, they're not playing this week, but now that Odell Beckham has left and Odell Beckham Sr. has nothing to say, apparently Kareem Hunt Sr. now has something to say about Baker Mayfield this week.
Listen, Baker, I know he's hurt a little bit and this, that, and the other thing. What has come out is that Baker is just not – he's not a franchise-dominating quarterback. He's a game manager. He's fine. He's going to be a middle-of-the-road quarterback.
Right. But all of these guys just come out and bad mouthing them. I mean, geez, how much you thought that maybe Stefanski had this team going better, and that you thought maybe this team was going to finally no longer be the laughing stock, and all of this mismanagement, all of this, problems in the locker room, it just continues.
The funny thing about that team and that whole division is that, Pittsburgh looks awful some weeks, but they're not that far out of it. Baltimore had to escape a bad Cleveland team that has all this infighting, and they did. They escaped last week by 6. Cleveland got rid of their, Odell and they got their running backs back. It didn't matter. They still didn't do anything offensively.
Right.
And Cincinnati has games where they're really good, and then they lose to the Jets.
Right.
This division is the most inconsistent division I've ever seen. Yet all 4 teams are also above 500 in that division.
Well, Pittsburgh,
the Steelers tied the Lions.
Right.
I mean, that's awful. That's as bad a game as you can play. The Bengals lost to the Jets. That's awful.
Right.
Yet these teams find ways to look really good in other weeks. You never know what to expect in this division. You just don't. It's crazy.
You've got 2 teams that just played awful last week, especially Pittsburgh, going at it in Pittsburgh. Ravens against the Steelers.
You know what? I think the Steelers are going to keep this close. I think they might even win it because Roethlisberger didn't practice today. So let's see what's going to happen first. If it's Mason Rudolph, I don't think so. But
right.
If it's Roethlisberger able to play, I think it's a physical, nasty game. And I think it gets close. I mean, I don't think that Baltimore's that good either.
I think Lamar is scheduled to play. I think he's
absolutely.
So we'll see what happens. San Fran against Seattle, just awful.
Well, they can't lose enough for me because right now I have the 5th and 6th pick in the draft. How's that Jamal Adams trade looking now, Seattle?
Oh, awful.
Nothing like getting a starting safety on a 3-8 team. Anyway, we'll leave that there.
Done.
I you know what? Seattle at home, you're figuring at some point they're gonna step up. San Francisco has looked great the last 2 weeks, actually, really good. They've turned around their season. You got to trust their running game. It's hard to trust Garoppolo. It rains a lot in Seattle. He doesn't look good when the weather's not good for him. He just doesn't.
Yeah,
I can see this game. I mean, San Francisco's a road favorite in Seattle. I think it's 2.5, 3, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
I could see Seattle winning this game.
Really, even though Seattle's defense sucks.
Seattle's defense sucks, but they only give up 17 to the Washington football team, or as I used to call them, the Redskins.
Gotcha. Denver coming off the big win, going up against KC.
So last time Denver had a big win, it was against Dallas, and the next week they laid an egg.
Mm-hmm.
You might remember that. It was against the Giants, right?
Yes.
So, can they handle the success this time? I think it's going to be tough in Arrowhead on a Sunday night. Now, Bridgewater is not flappable. He's going to be fine. They have skilled players at wide receiver. My daughter's trying to break in because I have to take her on a car ride in a minute.
Gotcha. Cortland Sutton signed a new contract this week.
Yep, Cortland Sutton. They have good receivers. Tim Patrick. But the Chief defense has been great in the last. I would say the Chief defense has been excellent for the last 5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the Chiefs will find a way to win. I don't know if they'll cover. That's a lot of points, 10-0. I think it'll be a 1-score game.
Gotcha. And we already discussed the New England Buffalo game. So with that in mind, I think we got everything covered there, my friend.
We do very much so. Again, I think it's a weird week. It's a lot of home dogs this week. You don't see this many that often. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Get us wherever bad podcasts are available, iTunes, Spotify, etc. Check us out, the Fantasy Fat Guys on Facebook, because only like 2 of you have. So if you get a chance.
And we love you both.
Oh, God bless you both. And check it out. And without any further ado, because you have to fly.
I'm going to get beat up by a 13-year-old.
There you go. Good night, Irene.
Good night, Irene. That comes
later.